Okay, just a quick note about this canyon. It was a little bit less intense with the adventure and down climbs and that kind of thing, but a little bit more intense with rigging and anchors. So I actually just edited the footage to include a lot more of that than I usually do. And so if that's not your cup of tea, feel free to skip this one. But if you're kind of interested in what we did to set certain things up, this is the video for you.
All right, well, finally deeper than our heads, which makes it look cooler.
Right over our heads.
Yeah.
Right.
Anchor.
Get up here. Anchor.
Whoa, that looks so far.
Oh.
All right, so he's doing a stone knot. We're intentionally using this sort of hollow space so that there's no bumping around on the fiddle stick and so that it's easier to pull.
Also, one thing I've been learning is I've been being very careful with the way I keep the ropes.
Yeah,
I don't want this to go over there. I want it to stay here.
So tail end staying on that
the reason
side.
why is when you pull this out, I want it to flip.
Yeah, you want it to.
This without having to wrap around that.
Okay.
So I'm pinching this, and you see I'm just keeping it like that. And so it looks all twisted up in there.
But once you remove the fiddle stick or the smooth operator, isn't this one technically a smooth operator?
Yeah, technically. So again, I'm keeping that on that side. And then I'm going to save this for everybody. But me.
Yep. So Trent will go last without these safety clips. And are you not going to put the pull cord on it until you go, or do you put the pull cord on it now?
If I was using an am steel cord where I have the girth hitch it on, I'd put it on first. But as it is, I'll just wait.
Okay. Wow.
That was cool.
It looked cool. Oh.
This was the second rappel, and I didn't get any footage of the anchor just because it was pretty straightforward. But it is worth noting that we did take into account how the rope pull would be since the anchor is so far back from the ledge.
Good friction setting.
I believe we even did a test pull on this anchor before we sent the last person down.
Nice. Look at this rig from right there. Blue webbing all the way down over there. Interesting. All right, well, we replaced this anchor around this boulder up here. We entertained doing a cairn anchor down here, but there was not enough boulders to work with. We kind of felt weird just throwing boulders down there, and the ground was too frozen to do any like proper like deadmans and stuff. So we just revised what they had, but with a lot new webbing. So here we've got a cairn anchor and the webbing coming out, and yeah, like this one seems just old enough that I would want to inspect it, but I just don't even think I can move these big ones. So my proposal, we'll see what Trent thinks, is just to back it up by going around the back with this webbing and then, you know, so that can still hold it, but this will be back up. That's my thought.
So Trent liked my idea because he agreed that the boulders on the cairn anchor were just too big to reasonably dismantle. So we rigged it up that way, and then I went down first without a courtesy anchor just to test the rope pull and to make sure that the anchor was holding properly. And of course we had a few of the team doing a backup just in case it didn't. But it went well, so then everybody else came after me with the courtesy anchor, except Trent, who came last, of course, without the courtesy anchor. This wrap was rigged fairly normally. but the start was pretty awkward.
Good. That was actually pretty good. Looks like we're emerging.
This last wrap was another one where we were a little worried about the rope pull and we decided to do a fiddle stick. This time I got to be the one to go last.
Okay, this will be my first time rappelling off a fiddle stick on being the last person, I think. So take this out. Take this one out. Tie this here because I'm going to go under the rope in a second. Okay.
For what it's worth, one thing I did between the last clip and this one was holler down to Trent, narrating what I had done. It's not that I didn't trust myself to have done it right, but it's just a best practice that Trent and I like to do is narrate our rigging before we come down.
Okay, rappelling!
As I go over the edge, I'm just putting a little bite of the pull line underneath the wrap line. That way, as long as I'm waiting the wrap line, it'll kind of pinch that down and make sure it doesn't move around at all.
Pinch that rope. All right, if I did this right. Ready? And yank. Super clean.
The canyon's pretty much done, but there was one last little spot that I'll mention. It's this kind of awkward down climb or jump down section. We just partner assisted each other and eventually got everyone down it safely. For one of the team members, we tried a meat anchor and it didn't go well, so try everything else instead.
Pictograph panel. Nice views.